If you're feeling overwhelmed by what's going on in the world because you've got stuff in your own life going on, it is your number one priority to heal yourself, to go figure out like what people, what services, what you need to heal so that you can go out there in the world and be this amazing, evolved human who helps and supports and inspires other people.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the beneficial convo I had with Amber Romaniuk in our last episode. Nailed it. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, and then come back and join us. You guys, I also think last week, I don't even think I said John's last name correctly. Like I got you guys.
You got close. It's okay.
Okay. I think it's really important that you know, I went to speech therapy, okay, as a child. I had a stutter. I had a lisp. I do think I'm slightly dyslexic. I'm doing the best I can here.
You're doing great, babe. Kicking ass.
Today is September 18th, 2025, and it's World Water Monitoring Day. And I got some fucking neighbors I'm monitoring. Anyways, every year, around 150 countries come together to honor World Water Monitoring Day. It just rolls off the tongue, don't you think?
Yeah.
Water, as we've been learning since a young age, is an extremely important source for keeping all living beings alive and well. You can go without food for a long period of time, about 3 weeks, but your body will most likely start showing signs of shutting down if you haven't had enough water intake for even a short period of time, about 3 to 4 days. I can't even go fucking 3 to 4 hours without some water. So just so you know, if I'm ever kidnapped and tortured, I don't think I'm going to make it 3 days. I'm going to drown. I'm going to die. The human body is, after all, made of 60 to 70% of water. We're like cucumbers, everyone. Water is so important. Are cucumbers more than 60% water? Bro, look it up. Water is so important that much of the space exploration budget is solely dedicated to finding water sources on other planets. A huge chunk of the Earth's ecosystem is...
Cucumbers are 95 to 96% water.
Okay, so we're not like a cucumber, but we should act like... Be it till you see it as a cucumber, guys. A huge chunk of the Earth's ecosystem is also made of water, with countless organisms dependent on it. Yet things like water pollution and climate change are threatening our water sources, which is why it has become more important now than ever to regularly monitor the water bodies around us. I kept interrupting myself, but I just want to say, like, I did do a whole thing. You can drown yourself if you drink too much water. It's called hyponatremia. Anyways, it's the opposite. And
hyponatremia.
Natremia. So here's the deal. You do want to
the sodium levels in your blood become abnormally low because
if you look at like cyclists or marathon runners, they're not just drinking water. They have electrolytes in it, aka there's salt. So make sure that you be it till you see like a cucumber, but put some salt in your water. Okay. Also, while we're at it, research the companies who are putting salt in your water, because some of them are dickheads. Some of them don't believe in science, which is pretty fucked up considering that they're fucking scientific. They're supposed to be scientific in what they're doing.
I think we can call one out.
Yeah. L&T apparently supports MAHA, and I'm pretty pissed off about it.
The two founders are like lockstep with RFK doing, like de-sciencizing our science.
So anyways, I'm pissed off because I really liked it. However, the great thing about being cookied and like algorithms following us is I use Brad's phone several times to research different companies that are not L&T, that don't have stevia or sugar. And not only did we come up with a few because of like a chatbot of Brad's, but now he's getting ads for some. And I think one of the ads you got is brilliant. And I'm really excited about it. So
yeah, it's a shame because I really like their product.
It
was actually really great.
It was really great. But you know what?
I mean, it still is great. But I disagree with
clearly, since they don't believe in science.
Well, I disagree with their opinions.
But also, since they don't believe in science, there's probably better scientific electrolytes out there. So we're going to find those. And once we do, you'll know, because I'll just make us an affiliate and we'll shout it from the rooftops. But my fucking goodness, protect your water. Make sure, make sure that even if you live in a place where the water is abundant, I could not believe how much water is in Idaho. I could not believe the amount of water in Idaho. I'm like, no wonder California is like just wasting water. There's no water. Like when you live in the Southwest, when you live on the West, like it's not exactly like abundant.
It's a desert. Hello.
Yes, I know. So anyways, what happened in Vegas, we found out that like when we use water out of our faucets and our sinks and our showers, like 98% of that or something like that is actually able to be reused, like cleaned and all that stuff. So like that's really nice.
I don't know what the percentage is, but
it was over 90.
They're very intense in Nevada about water conservation and reuse.
We're doing a great job in Nevada because
specifically Las Vegas.
Yes, because our population has increased ridiculous amounts and we've decreased our water consumption. And, you know, the fact that people are fighting for their fucking green lawns pisses me off because unless you live where it rains all the time, then by all means, like lawn away. But like if you don't, you know, lawns don't even capture water. Like that was shocking news to me.
The only thing that grass does is look pretty.
Looks pretty.
That's it.
So clearly I'm against golf courses, but like, look, if water is natural where you are and it rains and it can keep grasses green, they have them. But why are we doing the grass in the desert? It pisses, like those kinds of things are stupid. They don't make sense. It just going with our, you know, talk about believing in science. Anyways, at Beit Till You See It, we believe in science. We just got back from the UK literally 2 days ago. We are home. We're catching up on work. We're filming stuff for OPC. We're recording stuff for this podcast. And then we're going to, this is our tour. We're going to go to Chicago. We'll be POT for Balanced Body in Chicagoland and Burr Ridge. We're going to celebrate our anniversary together. 10 fucking years married. Holy moly. Can you believe that?
That's insane.
Yeah. I was like, are you still here?
Yeah.
So 10 years married. And then from Chicago, we're going to go to Cambodia and we're going to run our retreat in Cambodia. I'm so excited for the epic humans we're going to hang out with in Cambodia. It's going to be so amazing. And then we're going to go head up to Singapore on our way home. I'm teaching a workshop there. Go to crowsnestretreats.com for retreat info.
Yeah. And if this one is too close, because it literally is a couple weeks away, no problem. Get on the wait list.
You're not spontaneous, but they can't be spontaneous.
No, you're allowed to be spontaneous. I get it. But also like doing an international trip within a month can be challenging. So I understand that. I recognize that.
My mom's friend did it in 2 weeks.
She did. You're 100% right. And you should do that too. Drop your life and come join us. If that's not an option, then come join us next year. We are going to be doing this again in October of next year. We'll be announcing all the dates in January. So go to the website. Go to the website and get yourself on the wait list. Go to crowsnestretreats.com.
Mm-hmm. Then on our way home, go to Singapore. And then we come home. We hang out for a month. Brad's parents are finally visiting. It's only been 10 years. Just throw them under the bus. They're lovely people. Anyways, we love them very much. And I just love this 10-year vacation that we're on.
10 years.
10 years.
Consistent.
But anyways, we'll announce the winter tour dates on October 1st, actually. So the winter tour is going to release before we leave for Chicago. So you want to be on the wait list, opc.me/events to make sure you get that link. Also, 2026 is literally around the corner. We come home from winter tour. I teach at the Pilates Expo Journal.
That's in LA.
That's in LA. Yep. Adjacent.
LA adjacent. What, South, right?
As an Angelino, I have a really hard time saying that something is in LA when it's not in LA because I just feel like it's not in LA. And then we'll be in Poland. So if you are wanting information about that, check out my Instagram account. I'll put that stuff up there. We'll get the links up here on an upcoming episode. Before we get into Amber's amazing takeaways, what is our question this time, babe?
Etane Pilates.
Hi, Heather.
Is asking legs in parallel hip distance apart, legs together, zipped midline, either or both. And this is
a footwork question.
We
got so many footwork questions. I was like, and some of them are longer than I can type a character count of Instagram. So here is the deal. Footwork from Joe. If you're doing it Joe's way on the reformer or on the window chair or on a Cadillac or anywhere footwork is, you start with heels together, toes slightly apart.
But if you're doing it Brad's way, you just put your feet completely 180
Yeah, he does his own way.
No, don't do that.
So don't do that. So slightly apart. Like people like to say Pilates V. Pilates V is not first position, so don't get them confused. There's actually no
first position meaning dancing.
Dancing.
Dancers.
That's a little too externally rotated. So it's a slightly apart. The other thing is it's like actually your neutral position of your femurs. Like when the body is in neutral, your femurs are slightly turned out. Like that's what footwork toes is. So that's heels to the other toes apart. Then when you move to arches and heels, ideally you are zipping the midline together. However, bodies are interesting shapes. Some people have bony ankles. Some people have large calves. Some people have thigh abundance. Some people are knock-kneed. So here's the deal. If you cannot zip your legs together and get everything to touch, so ankles, knees, thighs, what you can do is...
the zip starts all the way down there?
Oh, ideally. Doesn't your zipper start at the bottom of your coat?
I don't know. Whenever I hear that term, I think it's like
From the
zipping
top down?
from my core. So like from my belly button up, zipping my ribs in, or
Yeah, you could
I
think
guess.
that. It's
but
fine.
I didn't think about it all the way down
We gotta
to the
start
heels.
We start from the bottom. Now we're here, babe. So we got to start from the feet up.
We are talking about footwork.
Yes,
That's
we are.
fair.
But if you can't because of your body shape, Balanced Body makes a really cool thing called the aligner. You can put that between your ankles or your thighs. They have 2 different ways you can use it. It's really, really cool. We have an affiliate link for that. We'll toss that in the notes. And then if that's more than you need, because it is a little bit bigger, just roll up a towel or get a little squishy ball or get a yoga block or like get a dog's toy. Put it between the place in your body that has a hard time, like that's touching, like you don't like when your ankles touch or your knees knock. Put it between something, close the chain so your inner thighs activate. It's really, really important that the inner thighs activate so that you're not just using quads in your footwork. We want the inner thighs, want the hamstrings, want the glutes to work. So it's a full body exercise. So it's all the things you asked, Heather, all of them.
It's
Everything.
all the things.
If you want to dive in deep to footwork, I think I'm teaching a workshop. I taught a workshop in the UK, so that's passed. Missed out on it. But we have free tutorials on our YouTube channel, on any place you can do footwork, and it's in our flashcards, and you can hear what I'm obsessed with it. If you have a question, you can text us at 310-905-5534. We're a +1 country code, I guess. So +1 310-905-5534, or go to beitpod.com/questions. You can submit a win or a question. I want to shout your wins out. That's what makes the Friday episodes fun, is your wins.
That is what does it. And you should definitely be doing that.
You should be. If you're not doing that, you're doing life wrong.
I mean, y'all, we should have so many wins that we have to pick between them. So
yeah,
let's go. Step it up.
Yeah,
go to beitpod.com/questions.
Here's what people are like, my win's not very big, or I don't want to take up space. You want to know something? That's what the fucking patriarchy wants. They want you to not take up space, because if you're quiet and you're humble and you think your win isn't anything, then they have an easier time controlling you in your life. So take up space, celebrate your wins. You're inspiring other people to see what they can do, and it makes the world a fucking better place to live in. Ladies, take up some fucking space. Shout up a win.
Space.
Share a win.
By the way, the link for the aligner is opc.me/aligner.
Aligner. Good luck spelling that. There is a silent G.
ALIG.
What's that comedian who does a whole thing on saying the silent letters in the US, in the English language? We call it a aligner.
Oh yeah. I don't know the name of the comedian, but that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Go check it out. All right, stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's talk about Amber Romaniuk. Amber is an emotional eating, digestive, and hormone expert with over 11 years of experience and the host of the No Sugarcoating Podcast, which boasts 1.9 million downloads, over 500 episodes, and is listened to in over 88 countries. Her mission is to help guide women worldwide towards food and body freedom, a state where they understand and address their physical, hormonal, digestive, and blood sugar issues, alongside the habits and mindsets that hinder their healing. Her backstory is very involved with her mission today. Her passion for helping women stems from her own profound struggles, which began at a very young age. Some of it was learned from family. Some of it was due to bullying. She shares a little bit about that on the interview. So if you haven't had a chance to go listen to that interview, definitely go, hit pause, go back, listen to that. It's worth a listen. When she was a child, she developed an unconscious emotional connection to food. And it revolved around sugar and processed foods. And it led to full-blown food addiction. And that's part of the story she shares. It's a bit shocking. And it's also, I actually think it's something that is very relatable.
Yeah.
And it's not just women who deal with this stuff. as well, food can become an addiction, just like
Anything.
cigarettes, like drugs, like whatever. Working out can be an addiction.
Yes.
But food, for her, food became an addiction.
Yeah. It's really interesting because while we were on our tour, I listened to like every podcast I could. And I actually ran out of episodes to listen to. I can tell we're on tour. Like I ran out of episodes. And I found this podcast that was about a camp that like Heavyweights was based off of, actually.
Sure.
And podcast series is really, really cool. It's called Camp Shame. You want to listen to it. And they did a really great job explaining like how historically thinness became associated with like healthiness, and how, especially in the US, but in most Western cultures, we have really fucked people up by, and including our medical world, by thinking that you just have to lose weight. And
Right.
that has created these food addictions and these other ways of eating disorder addictions. And I think it's just,
I think losing weight certainly can be the solution, but how could it possibly always be the solution?
oh, and that's exactly it. Because like, and a lot of people who do have a little bit more weight on them, doctors are always like, oh, go lose some weight first before they even like listen to their fucking symptoms. And so then their issues get worse.
Yeah.
Anyways, all this to say, I really enjoy that. I really like when people are willing to share their stories of healing and then how they're going, because I think it's so important to normalize these conversations so that people can realize that, first of all, your weight often has zero to do with your health. And we know that now. We have a lot of more information now than we did before because actually of science and people studying these things. And
Can you explain that? Because that's not intuitive. How is it that your weight could be? I mean, your weight has to have something.
So first of all,
health, right?
everybody thinks the BMI is like, your insurance companies will use your BMI to determine if you're healthy or not and what your insurance rate should be. Your BMI was actually never supposed to be used for what health is. The scientists who did it was for another reason. And it was only studied on men. And BMI means your height to weight ratio. Well, a bodybuilder could have what would be considered obese BMI because the weight
could be
of
short and huge. But
Right.
they're intentionally huge.
But their muscles and their body, so their body fat percentage is quite low, right? Versus somebody who's the same height and maybe even the same weight, but doesn't work out, right? But
Right.
by the way, we're acting like that guy with muscles is healthier than the guy without muscles because we have been conditioned to think that that is healthy. That person might be on steroids. They might be under eating.
Yeah, they could
might
be starving themselves.
Correct.
Like all that. So that's very true.
Right. And then the other thing is that like a lot of our health conditions are actually genetic versus, a lot of things. And we are different races have different body shapes. And so we're saying, oh, if you're not heroin chic, then there's something wrong with you. Because the best way to describe the way that the 90s thought health and wealth and beauty was like fucking pencil thin. Those girls were eating cotton balls soaked in orange juice. Literally. You can go watch documentaries on this. Like that is how they were staying the shape that they needed to be to make money. And then we're all chasing this dream when our bodies actually don't want to look like that. That's not healthy. And so at any rate, health, signs of good health, your weight is like truly not one of them unless you are on the very, very, very ends of a spectrum.
Sure.
But in the middle, there is a wide range of health that could be, and your outside appearance is rarely able to significant, like
the
indicator of what your health is. We have to look at your sugar levels. We have to look at how, like, do you digest sugar? Are you digesting your food? Are you absorbing nutrition? Like your microbiome is a better signifier of health than your weight on the scale. And so it's really fascinating because we have a humongous population of women and men who are raised to think that I just have to be thinner.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people listen to this podcast who probably struggle with, I was at the gym today, right? And this woman, she is so sweet. She looks so cute. And she's like, I'm carrying 30 pounds more because of an injury. And like the fact that she felt like she had to tell me that because she's a Pilates instructor. And so she's like, yeah, I was like, who cares? Like I literally said to her, who cares? You are having the most fun. You're rocking your Pilates practice. Who cares? So the point is all this to say, like, this country is fucked up in how it thinks of health. And so people are worrying about the scale says versus like going to their doctor, getting their lungs listened to, getting their heart listened to, getting their blood checked, and then researching like what's in range, hormone health, that kind of stuff. But like we're so obsessed with what the scale says versus like, what does your blood fucking say? What does your blood say? So anyways, back to Amber. She said, we get comfortable in our comfort zones of suffering. And I think this is really, really important. A lot of us are afraid of being on the other side of whatever our addiction or whatever our thing is, because suffering has become comfortable. We know it. We know what to expect. We like certainty. We'll hear more about certainty in a couple weeks with Brad Bizjak, but like we like knowing these things, but we have to, our comfort zone of suffering is not uncomfortable enough for us to want to get out of it. She said, we continue to do what is familiar because it feels safe to your brain. You can listen to Gay Hendricks or read his book about like your brain, like wanting to be in its comfort zone. We will sabotage, right? She described being terrified of the unknown. This is, I am familiar with this. Like you're so terrified of like the unknown that you're like, I'll just stick in my suffering because the other side, the thing that I want is actually scary because I don't know what it's going to feel like. But she said the suffering became bigger than the fear of change. And that is so key. Like sometimes we just have to figure out what that's going to be for us. And she said, your healing is one of the most valuable journeys you can choose because it's going to help you grow and evolve in ways you can't even imagine. And I think this is so important. Like whatever is going on in your life, if you're feeling overwhelmed by what's going on in the world because you've got stuff in your own life going on, it is your number one priority to heal yourself, to go figure out like what people, what services, what you need to heal so that you can go out there in the world and be this amazing, evolved human who helps and supports and inspires other people.
Yeah.
Right? Anyways, so many good things in there. What did you love?
I was digging where she's talking about your actual body is always trying to heal.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter where you are in your life cycle. And what she was talking about, what she was referencing there was the different like hormonal stages of a female body, specifically with the perimenopause, menopause, post. She said, however, we have to look at what is in the way of healing. And it's not even just those stages, but your mindset is so much a part of this healing, right? And whether you're seeing doctors or not, that's what we can contribute to the fix that we may be getting from an expert. Right. But our mindset and our habits, the behaviors that we have, she said, she also, when it comes to age and certain ages, right. I know from just being around people who are older than me, they have this idea that they're set in their ways and there's nothing that can be done about it. And that's not true. Like it doesn't matter how old you are, you can start to create change and the way that we internalize, the way that we think about ourselves and think about the change and the hope and the shift in our health will contribute significantly to whatever actual, whether we change our sleep or our food or our workout or our, supplements or whatever, any of that. But the way we think about it is going to change, is going to support that.
Yes.
Or it's going to make it effective.
Right. Well, we talked about those habits, right? We have a whole habit series coming out, by the way, in December. So I'll dive in more there. But like, if you shame yourself after making a mistake in a change you want to make, your mindset will keep you from making those changes again. Like you will not be able to do it, even though your body wants to do it, even though you say you want to do it. Like how your mindset is absolutely a huge part of making the changes and allowing your body to heal, because your body wants to do it, but you're getting in the way.
Yeah. And also your mindset of your provider. Right. It's hard to change a provider, but the response that you mentioned earlier, just go lose some weight first and then we will do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Like that's some bullshit.
It's so fucking
That's such a cop out.
Find a new provider.
Yeah. And like, if you're getting told something like that, you absolutely can go get a second opinion.
You can also tell them, no.
Right.
I've already have. Like there was one of the FIFs, I think I actually brought up like things that you can say to a doctor, but like, and unfortunately people who are in what's considered a larger body, you might have to say to the doctor, I want you to know, come into this, I've already lost X amount of weight.
Yeah.
I have had this pain for this long. Unfortunately, no matter who you are, even if weight is not a thing, you're going to have to say how long things happen, because some doctors do not take some symptoms seriously until it's been a significant amount of time.
Well, let's think about this here. Like from the perspective of a doctor, it's a puzzle. Okay.
Yes.
You are a puzzle to them, and they like figuring out puzzles, and they've educated themselves in a crazy way over many, 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 many years to understand all the variables that are involved. So, but they're still human, right?
Yes.
And they're going to do what brains do, which is the fastest, easiest way to find the answer, the solution. That's what their brain is doing for them. So they're going to look at it and go, well, step one is it fucking plugged in, right? Just like any of the stupid customer service calls. So what are they going to say? They say, well, you're clearly overweight, so go lose some weight, right? And that is the easy answer for them. But there's more to it than just that. But they can say, well, this is definitely something that has to be solved anyway. And it could be a very likely contributor to whatever the problem is that you have. So what are they going to do? They're going to go to the easiest answer first. Now, there could be far more to it. Or if you can give them a clearer picture of the puzzle, you can already say, this is how long this thing's been happening. I have already lost X amount of weight. I have already done these other things. I have already changed my eating, my sleeping, my this. Yet the problem persists. Now they have a clear picture of the puzzle, and they can go, the easy, is it plugged in response doesn't work here. What's the next thing on my mental checklist of things, right? So it's really important to be communicative. It's important to be paying attention to yourself. It's important to have those numbers and statistics and things that you've already tried, and to share that information.
Yes.
Because otherwise you're going to get the, is it plugged in answer.
And they don't, and to also to be a little on their side. They have to see a ridiculous number of patients in a day. They're given 6 minutes with you. And so the more you can have your thoughts organized, listen to the episode with Lindsay Moore and also Jessica Vallant on advocating for yourself in healthcare, but have these notes, because it will help your healing process if that's the route you have to go. And if you're going a route of a therapist or something like that, find one. It might take a few different people. And I know that's annoying. I know when you are suffering and you're finally ready to make a change, it can be fucking annoying to start over week after week with a different therapist until you find what you like. But you owe it to your future self.
Yeah.
And you owe it to the people that you're going to change their life by being yourself.
Yeah. I mean, think about it from the perspective of a Pilates teacher or a fitness coach or whatever. If you are in the Pilates world, what we always coach our clients through agency, we say, you are not for everyone, and that's okay. The therapists aren't for everyone, and that's also okay. You're not going to connect the same way with every person, but there is going to be one or more than one person that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I totally vibe with this person. And you'll be willing to connect with them in a better way. Doctors are the same way, right? Yeah. So anyway, the Lindsay Moore episode is episode 177. And who else did you say?
Jessica Vallant, her first episode.
Jessica Vallant is episode 39. So go back and check out those interviews. That both will be very helpful and supportive for this conversation as well. And I think that, to sum this all up, if you're frustrated with the attention or lack of attention that you're getting from your provider, you are allowed to advocate for yourself. No one is going to advocate for you unless you hire someone to advocate for you or engage, someone to advocate for you, or maybe you have a family member who's willing to play that role. But you can advocate for you, and it's also okay to go get a second opinion and to dig deeper. You're allowed to do that. So she said we need to recondition ourselves to normalize investing in our health. And what she's specifically talking about in that is that she's Canadian. They do have healthcare as a country. She said just because we get healthcare doesn't always mean that it's great healthcare, right? When she started having these deeper conversations with her doctors, she started cutting out some of the middlemen and paying to go directly to the experts in it, right? Because she said, well, I couldn't get the referral, but I disagreed with them. I went to someone else, and just because of the way the system was structured, it wasn't an option. So for me, I had to go straight to the expert, and that meant I had to pay out of pocket. And that sucks because I do have access to a healthcare system. However, that wasn't solving my problem. And I think in the United States, the irony is we still have to fucking pay for things anyway because our insurance system is so backwards. So, I would say, I agree with her that we need to recondition ourselves to normalize investing in our health. And that's exactly why we encourage people to go work out.
And
too.
then, you know what? Call your fucking congressperson
Yeah.
and tell them how much you would invest. Tell them what you want to see changes are.
Yeah.
They work for us.
Yep.
In every country that you have some sort of voting system, the person who represents you is supposed to work for you, whether you voted for them or not. So, like, be something in there, like, be in their fucking bonnet about it. And but first, you have to heal yourself. And that does, unfortunately, there's like a statistic that it's like a ridiculous amount of money that women will spend on their healthcare versus men, because we are often getting second opinions because, unfortunately, they didn't study women's bodies.
I think women also live longer than men. So maybe there's something to it.
Especially if you don't get married. There's like a lot. So there's a fuck ton of studies.
Wait a minute.
Yes. So it says basically the science is, if you're a man, you need to be married because you'll live longer. But if you're a woman, you should not get married because you will live longer. And so it's this like really interesting thing that like women actually, provided we still get to have our credit cards and our bank accounts and vote, we will live longer if we just live live on our own or live in a commune with each other.
Well, there's that.
Sorry, babe. I love you, but
I love me too.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
All right, stick around. We'll be right back. We're going to dig into those action items, those beit action items that we got from Amber Romaniuk. All right, so let's talk about those beit action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your conversation with Amber? She said, hey, the best habits for hormone and digestive health, start getting into a mindful eating practice and start having good sleep hygiene. And what she was specifically saying about mindful eating practice, this is really interesting, y'all, because we're glued to our phones. I'm just as guilty of this, like 100%. She said, for eating, put down your phone, sit, and eat your food mindfully. Why? What does she actually mean by that? She said, well, there's two elements to eating. And we're distracting ourselves from one of the two elements when we're not focused on eating. What are those two elements? There's the physical state of eating, and then there's the emotional state of eating. And if we are not paying attention to our food, there's very high chance that emotionally we won't even realize it, and we will just keep eating because we don't emotionally feel, that we're full, right? And also there's still that element with the physical. You're not necessarily paying attention to your stomach, you're paying attention to your phone, right? So you could just keep going past the point of being full. So I just thought it was really interesting. It's not the first time we've heard this. In fact, I think Dr. Kelly Bender also mentioned eating and putting your phone away and just focusing on eating.
Yes.
Can't remember which interview that was because she's been with us for a few.
Yes.
But
you can go listen to him.
Yeah, she was in episode 41 and 183, Dr. Kelly Bender. So we'll put those links in the show notes. But she mentions the same thing, like put your phone away while you're eating. And I never thought about it as a mindful practice, but disconnect from that technology. And she said same goes with sleeping. And of course, we've talked about this before.
Mindfully sleep. Put your phone away.
Well, no.
And actually sleep.
Yeah, not mindfully sleeping, but like preparing for sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like actually preparing for sleep. And I know you went through a couple different extreme things where you would leave your phone in the other side of the house.
I know. I still want to do that. I just haven't figured out how to do that.
It's tough too, because our phones are our alarms, all the things, but disconnecting from tech. She said 15 to 30 minutes before going to bed, and then also she said sleeping before 11 p.m., especially for women, because optimal hormone balance occurs between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. I don't actually know how that statistic comes to be. I think everybody is a little bit different. And so, we all have our own sleeping patterns. So I think it's important to understand your own circadian rhythm. A tool that we use to help us find ours has been a ring, like the ring that monitors your heart, your health, your blood, your blood, all that kind of stuff, your blood pressure. I mean, and then it actually can identify your natural rhythms.
I wonder, we'll have to find out where that is, because there is information that our liver also does its own cleaning out thing around 2 to 4 a.m. And so that's why a lot of people get up at 2 a.m. having to pee. It's actually there are some things that the body just does at a certain time.
But also 2 to 4 a.m. for me is not 2 to 4 a.m. for somebody else. So that's what doesn't make sense. Because of the time zones. So I think there's like a guideline there, but I think it's obviously different for every
Luckily
person. We
for
live in
you,
different parts
Brad,
of the world.
you can be a lark. You can be up or whatever. It's got an owl. You don't, your hormones will be fine if you stay up past 11. It's okay.
High level, she said, get your hormones tested. So
get them tested multiple times because they do change throughout the day, but also throughout your cycle. And also find a doctor, if not working with Amber or Femgevity, find fucking someone who actually gives a fuck, because I knew I did not have testosterone for years. And it took me forever to find someone who would fucking listen to me.
Yeah.
And so it is annoying and you got to advocate for yourself, but you need to find someone who actually gives any fucks about hormones. So whatever it is, find the person you're, and yes, it takes time. I know you're busy.
I think we could talk about Femgevity here. I mean, you probably heard the commercials that we throw in occasionally here, but Lesley's been working with a female telehealth medicine company that is only in the United States. Canadians, but
that's what they have, Amber. And anyone you can be outside the States and outside of Canada and work with Amber as well, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to find people. So cannot contact Amber or contact Femgevity, but interview people and see if they fit your vibe. Do they understand what your goals are? Like, does it make sense to them? If they're not, it's okay. It's not like, oh my God, they're an asshole. They don't get me. They're not the right person for you.
Yeah, they're not the right person for you, or they don't have the time for you. And so you can find somebody else.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Becoming in tune and learning how to listen to your body, the most powerful gift you can give yourself. I think it's kind of free, guys, as well.
That's very
it's free. She said, do a self-assessment. What symptoms are you experiencing? Rate your intensity a 1 to a 10 to effectively communicate with a healthcare professional. So you could just literally take notes on your phone. And when you wake up, you could just ask yourself, how do I feel? What am I experiencing right now?
Yeah.
Like in the morning, I'm experiencing a runny nose. Oh, it's because I need to take my allergy medicine, right? And in the afternoon, when you sit down for lunch, you can go, what am I experiencing right now? And it's like, oh, my nose is still running. Maybe this is not allergies, right? And then after dinner, what it's instead, it could be part of your gratitude practice. I'm grateful because I feel hot. I'm grateful because I feel tired. Part of it, but start to rate it so that you have notes and you can start to see patterns. And then when you actually do talk to a healthcare professional, they can see that you are paying attention to yourself.
Yeah.
It's really hard when you go, I don't know, it's been a while since I've been feeling this way. Since when? They're going to know since when, because a while for some people is 3 days and for some people it's 3 fucking years. So you want to say since January 27th, every night I feel like this, that is important information. Build a self-care routine. We know that this is a big thing I'm a big fan of, even if it's just sitting or slowing down and practicing the art of doing nothing. That's a great thing to do.
Oh, yeah. That was a whole interesting part of the conversation. She said, we need to take 10 minutes and literally do nothing to regulate our nervous system every day. And I thought, do I ever give myself time to do nothing? No.
Yeah, just
you know why? Because I've got a damn phone and I'm scrolling Instagram. If I'm doing quote unquote relaxing, I'm still doing something.
You know what? Also, even if, here's the deal. You can walk your dog, which is going to be doing something, but then do nothing while walking your dog.
Sure.
And but find ways to get bored. Our yoga teacher always talked about how when his kids go, I'm bored. He's like, you're so fucking lucky. That's one of the greatest things you could ever be is bored. And lastly, Amber advised us to be patient and compassionate with yourself.
Yeah.
Try to build a friendship with your body. Woo. That one. If you do nothing on this world, but build a friendship with your body.
You asked how do we not be impatient when we aren't seeing immediate results? And that's where she said, be compassionate with yourself.
Yeah. If you were your friend
patient.
Telling your friend, I'm not seeing X, Y, and Z results, your friend would be like, okay, but how long has it been? Okay, but
it's been a week?
1 week.
Okay.
Things
it took
take time.
you 40 years to get here.
Yeah. So be nice. You're not a robot.
Yeah.
Speaking of not being a robot, I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Thank you for sending in your favorite parts of the episodes. Thank you for sharing what you love and your suggestions. Send your questions and your wins in to beitpod.questions. Share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it, especially Amber's interview with your friends who are struggling with their health right now and their health journey. I think it's really inspiring. And
beitpod.com/questions.
beitpod.com/questions. That's more helpful. And until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Beit Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day. Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at beitpod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the Epic team at Disenyo.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time.